Here.
Chico State.
Chico State is one,
Sac State.
and Sac State is another. So those are all different kind of systems. There's private schools, public schools, and so you said you have a brother that goes to school
At Duke.
At Duke, and so that's a private institution. And then you said you had a sister that goes to school at
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, which is a state school within California. But both of them had to adhere to the A through G requirements. So what did you find out with your A through G requirements?
I printed it out here, and I have to take 2 years of history, 4 years of English, at least 3 years of math, at least 2 years of science, but you should take 3 years, and
Okay.
then two other languages besides English, and visual and performing arts. You have to take at least 1 year. In college, preparatory electives at least 1 year.
Okay, and so underneath your A through G, which is really nice because you got it off your school website, it lists the classes that your school offers within that A through G. Because they'll be different. Like if you looked at a really big high school, they might have some different classes within that A through G. So let's just take, so your 4 years, so this is where you know you want to be in 4 years. You want to have all these classes taken. So let's just say you wanted a 1 year goal. So let's look at your freshman year. So your freshman year, what math would you be taking your freshman year?
High school math 2.
Okay, so high school math 2. I'll write this down and I can send it with you. High school math 2. What English would you be taking?
Probably English 9.
Okay, English 9. And do you know with your history, social science, your freshman year that you would be taking? Because you might not know that these are upper like 11th and 12th grade classes where a lot of times your freshman year you'll take like life choices or different things, or geography. You'll probably take geography your freshman year. So you have 3 classes there: geography, English, and math 2. Lab science, it says 2 years required for A through G, but they recommend 3. A lot of schools, if you want to go to a really upper end school, they'll even recommend that you have 4. So a lot of kids go into high school taking the biology, or they go into taking ag biology, which are both lab sciences that would meet 1 year. So you said you kind of had an ag type of background, right? So you might take biology or ag biology. You could decide that. So, but you have 1 year of science there, a lab science, and then Spanish. Also, that's the only foreign language your school offers. They offer Spanish 1 through 4, and then AP Spanish as well. So 2 years of that. But I thought you told me, are you taking?
I'm taking Spanish right now as an 8th grader.
Okay, you're taking Spanish 1 as an 8th grader. So you would go into high school taking Spanish 2. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then a lot of kids go in, they take more Spanish than that. Your visual performing arts, only 1 year required in the A through G. That could be drama, floral design. They only offer 4, art or art 2. So you may take one of those your freshman year. You might not, because it's only 1 year. You could kind of decide what you wanted to do. And then you have some electives that you could take: psychology, food science, those kind of things. So you know for sure within your freshman year that you'd want to take math, English 9, geography, science, and Spanish 2. That's a pretty full load. Okay, so that's what your A through G looks like. And then you also said that you looked on your high school website and they talked about what advanced placement classes your high school offered. Do you know what those are?
They have AP Government, AP History, AP Psychology. They have Statistics, Calculus, Spanish, English, English Literature, and Comprehension.
Okay, so they offer 9 AP classes, which is great for a small school. Do you know what an AP class is, what AP stands for?
Advanced Placement.
Advanced Placement. And do you know what that does for you to have an AP class?
Doesn't like make your GPA above 4.0?
Very good. Right, so there's unweighted GPAs and there's weighted GPAs. And a weighted GPA would include an advanced placement. So an A, do you know how much in a GPA like an A is worth? Like
it's like a point.
It's an A is worth 4 points, but an APA is worth 5. An APB is worth 4, so it gives you a whole extra point in your GPA. But the other nice thing that AP classes do for you, do you know what other good thing that they can do for you?
They colleges like them better.
Yeah, colleges really like them. And if you take an AP test at the end of the year and you pass it, you can actually get college credit, a lot of college credit for that AP class. It's like taking a year of a college class. So you might not have to take like your first year of college English or your first year of college math. You can go straight to the next year, so you can save a lot of money. It helps your GPA. They're very, very tough classes though, because they are like being taught at a college level. So they're difficult classes, but in a lot of those you'll see those like in your, not in your freshman year, your sophomore, junior, and senior year, and those really help you quite a bit. And another thing you said that you got from your school website was about dual enrollment. Do you know? I didn't know that your school offered that. Did you know
It's like dual enrollment. I figured out was like, does it give you college credit?
It gives you college credit, usually dual enrollment, and so it's with your local community college, which is the Woodland Community College. And what classes are dual enrollment classes? Do you know?
Plant science, computer applications, life choices, human biology, and agribusiness.
Okay, so a lot of those type of vocational classes are dual enrollment classes, and those can go on your transcripts and give you college credit as well. So you can actually, when you graduate from high school, some people have a lot of credits towards high school. So that's great. Your high school offers a lot. That's a lot to think about during your first year. So I also looked on your website for you too, and they had a really great brochure called A College Guide for Students, and it's long. It's like 71 pages long. But in here, I thought, okay, so we've talked a little bit about your first year goal, and then your 4-year goal. So at the end of your fourth year, you know some classes that you want to take, and you talked about extracurricular type of things too. Are there still all the sports, extracurricular sports?
Yes.
And then what about outside of sports in the classroom? You said maybe FFA?
Yeah, FFA.
Okay. And so you have some extras. You're going to be really busy. What I really liked, and you can look at this too for your college website, is that they talked about when you're trying to think about colleges, and from what you've said, if you have an ag background, you're going to maybe look at colleges that offer an ag-related major. Do you know of any colleges that offer an ag-related major?
Fresno State.
Fresno State definitely does, yep.
Probably Cal Poly.
Cal Poly does as well. Chico State. And then there's private schools too. There's a lot of private schools, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, other schools in different parts of the country. And there's even an Ivy League school that offers a whole ag program. Do you know which one that is? Cornell. And that's in Ithaca, New York, so that's pretty cold, I would imagine, this time of year. But so you've got lots of options with ag schools. You could go private, public, all different across the board. So, but this was, I thought, was a really good question that they asked you within your counselor's own website about getting to know yourself and what your goals were and who you were. So we talked about your goals, where you want to be, your activities, your interests. But it also asked some really good questions about your personality, and I thought I'd ask you some of those too. It's like one of the questions is about the world around you, and what a good question is, how are you most like your parents, and how are you most unlike your parents?
I'm most like unlike my parents because I probably was still a lot taller than them at my age.
Okay.
And I grew up in a lot different culture. They probably didn't listen to very much like rap music or anything like that.
Okay.
And I'm same from parents because they have a pretty good attitude. I do too.
Okay. And some other questions they ask you too are like, when and where do you feel your best?
Probably my house.
At your home? Okay. And are there any local or global issues that are important to you, or anything that you guys talk about?
Probably I don't really like racism that much.
Okay.
Global warming.
Okay. So you do talk, so some of those things do interest you. There's other great questions here, like about your personality, and one that I really liked is, what do you expect from yourself?
I expect to go to a pretty nice college and get a good education.
Okay. And do you
go back home and farm and make pretty good money?
Okay, so make some money and do what you like at the same time. That's a bonus. That's hard for a lot of people to be able to do those things two together. And then ask you questions too, like, do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert?
What does that mean?
That's a good question. So an introvert means you kind of like keep things inside, the in, the prefix in, that you keep things more to yourself. And an extrovert is like you're more outgoing, the EX, the prefix of EX, that you're outgoing and you're more vocal. Do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert?
I think I'm an extrovert.
You think you're an extrovert?
Mm-hmm.
And then, do you think that you are a doer or a thinker?
Probably a doer.
That you like to do the activities and different kind of things. Do you think you're independent or do you think you're group oriented?
Probably independent.
You're independent, you like to do things on your own? Okay, so I encourage you to go through their website because it talks about all the different course loads, all the different things, all the tests that you need to take. Do you know what a standardized test is?
This is a test that the state gives?
Yeah, you take them all the time, right? You take them at the end of the year. They used to be called the STAR test and different names, and now they're called the CLASP, I believe. And standardized tests is to measure how you're doing. Do you know what the standardized tests are that you have to take to go to college?
Oh, the ACT and the SAT?
The ACT and the SAT, very good. And so you can practice those starting in 8th grade. They give what's called the PSAT, the practice SAT. You can take it 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, and usually kids start taking the SAT like their 11th grade year. And so that's why it's important to take those rigorous classes to get you ready to take those kind of standardized tests, because college look at your GPA. Do you know what the things that college look at when they decide on you?
Your GPA and your testing.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of colleges look at your extracurricular, what you've done, work experience, like see how well-rounded. Do you know what well-rounded means?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Like if you can do it all. Yeah.
If you can do it all right, if you're not a one-dimensional person, it's not just about academics, but about people skills or how you work with others or those kind of things too. So it sounds like you've got a lot of stuff kind of figured out for being in 8th grade. So we've talked a lot about goal setting, so I'll send that with you, like your 1-year goal, classes that you're going to take, your 4-year goals, your college goals. You've got a lot of that already figured out. I mean, we talked about it last time. Goal setting is kind of like, it's a road, and you start here where you are right now, and your ultimate goal, like we talked about your 23, where you want to be, and you kind of can have some twists and turns, but if you know the main markers that you're looking for along that road, then you can reach that goal. Sometimes there's some adjustments that you have to make in that time. But goal setting, do you know how it might apply to other parts of your life besides just school and college?
It'll help me get like a good job.
Okay, help you get like a good job.
And like a lot of other things.
Okay, so it could help you in sports,
Yes, yeah.
finances, your family life. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use goal setting. So before we close, well, 2 things before we close. One, let's just kind of re-identify the goal setting that you've done and will continue to do. So you started out setting kind of like the homework goal, and then the second goal was what?
The wanting to the things I need to graduate high school and move on to college.
Okay, and so then you have that second goal, and that second goal is something that you're going to pursue for a long time to come, because it's going to be years and years in the making. What questions do you have for me? Is there any questions you have of me for goal setting or checking in or?
No, not very much. No.
No.
I kind of figured it all out.
Okay, you kind of figured it all out. Of course you did. So, who would you check in with, like in the years to come, to make sure that you're on track for this 1-year goal, 4-year goal, your college?
Probably my counselor.
Your high school counselor, maybe your parents too. Okay, and one thing I suggest, if you have these kind of goals, that you keep things like in a 3-ring binder and keep on going back to them and reflect and check them off. And do you like to check off lists? Do you make lists and check them off?
Yes.
And that'll really help you do that too if you continue to do that, and it's going to be, I think, very successful for you. So, any last words before we close?
Nope.
I just want to say I really liked working with you. I think that you're going to be a great success. You've got a lot of good, positive things going on in your life, and that structure that you've put in place, I think, will help you be able to continue to reach that goal, anything that you want to do. So good luck to you.
Okay,
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Bye.